Have you ever checked out this exotic archive in the tower? As a new player, you might come in here and look at some of this and be like, I don't know what this means. How do I get these? Or just not even realize that you can get these. And these other 3 sections over here all require expansions. So if you're a free player, you can't even get a lot of these. This section right here, for the most part, you're not going to want to worry about it. A lot of it is sunset. You can see by this gray triangle, which means that this is its max power. It can never get more powerful than this. And these were really cool weapons back in the day, but like I said, their max power has been reached and they're not going to serve any use in PvE. In the Crucible, you'll still be able to use them, but that's it. Revoker is insane though. Like, if you were gonna get one weapon just for casual Crucible stuff, Revoker is absolutely insane. Its reversal of fortune, refunding a bullet that you miss is insane. So I guess you could go for that one someday if you're a Crucible player. If you are brand new to Destiny and you're a free player and you're wondering which of these weapons you should get or which one you should get first and even how to get them, let me tell you. You'll notice on these 6 over here that they only require 1 Ascendant shard, whereas these 3 over here each require 2 Ascendant shards. That's because Legend of Acrius is a raid weapon. It also requires Spoils of Conquest, which you can only get from playing raids. For the most part, you're not going to want to bother getting this weapon. It's a fine weapon, but nothing too insane, especially for the amount of effort you'll have to put in to acquire it. Knowing everything that I know, and having all these weapons on my actual main account and having plenty of experience using all of them, I would say if I was a free player, I would get Outbreak perfected first out of all these. Even though it requires 2 Ascendant shards instead of 1, Outbreak perfected is such a fun gun, especially if you and a bunch of your friends get Outbreak perfected and you're shooting enemies together, because the nanites all just help each other increase the damage, and it's such an awesome weapon. It's super fun. And to get Ascendant shards, you're gonna have to go to the Vanguard playlist, the Nightfall one, and you'll notice the rewards on each of these. If you go to Master difficulty, Ascendant shards are uncommon, so but you'll get them pretty frequently, like usually about every other run. You can also get them from the Grandmaster playlist if you've got some people and you've got the power to do it. Otherwise, you'll want to check out the Drifter or Shax here, and you're going to want to play some Crucible and some Gambit to unlock this free Ascendant shard. You can only get 1 Ascendant shard from each of them per season, so that's only 2 Ascendant shards for doing playlist activities per season, unless you do Nightfalls. And if you're looking for where to get an exotic Cipher, you can pick up the Xenology quest from Xur each weekend.
I bring a message from the 9.
It'll be right here. And all you got to do is complete strikes or win matches in the Crucible or Gambit. If you're in a clan, this will progress faster for each of those wins. You can only hold 1 exotic Cipher at a time, and you can only pick up this quest from Xur if you don't already have an exotic Cipher. A quick little thing to know too, if you have an exotic Cipher and you're not looking to get any of those other weapons in that exotic kiosk, you can always use an exotic Cipher to get an extra engram from Xur each week. Xur isn't always in the tower like he is today, but you can always find videos on where he is each weekend from Friday to Tuesday. As for those planetary materials, you're going to need to travel to the Tangled Shore and go talk to Spider. Spider has all kinds of stuff that you can trade your materials for. And pro tip, every time you land here, just look behind you and there might be a chest there that you can open. And you can do a little boost over these little bumps so you can drive your Sparrow all the way in here. You can trade your Glimmer for some of these materials and sometimes your legendary shards as well, whatever you need. And if you ever need Glimmer back, you can convert them from other materials as well. I don't really recommend buying enhancement cores or enhancement prisms because they are super expensive. But for the rest of these materials, pretty cheap. Try to wait for days where it's Glimmer, unless you got tons of legendary shards. As for the rest of these, you can honestly unlock them in any order you want. Whisper of the Worm is a great damage option for bosses where the crit spot doesn't move very much, but that's not too frequent. It is a fun weapon. It does look amazing too, but once again, this is going to be another weapon that costs you 2 Ascendant shards. Also, Sleeper Simulant is getting a buff, and it's a really fun weapon to use against bosses and high health targets as well. Other than these 3, I would probably, if I was a Crucible player, I'd probably get Mida Multi-Tool. Other than that, I would get Rat King. Sturm is good in the Crucible because it's a 120, but 120 round per minute hand cannons are getting a little bit of a nerf in the Crucible soon too. So you're really not going to want to bother with that. And swords are fine, but Worldline 0 is kind of just a fun exotic. It gives you a little teleport, which is pretty fun, but it's up to you. Polaris Lance is pretty cool too. But like I said, they're not very standout. They're not going to be doing insane stuff for you. Mostly Outbreak, possibly Whisper of the Worm, and then maybe Sleeper Simulant, Rat King, and Mida Multi-Tool. I wouldn't really personally bother with Sturm, Worldline 0, Polaris Lance, or Legend of Acrius. If I was gonna make this a tier list, this would be somewhat how it would look, I suppose. I would definitely get Outbreak. These 2 would kind of be my next priority. Then Rat King and Mida, Worldline, Polaris, Sturm, Legend of Acrius. Hopefully this was helpful. And if you liked the video,
it would be so cool if you liked it. Like you pushed the like button. That would be so sweet.